I want to ask you about that picture of the Hirschfeld. What play, and how did that come about?
That's from Pal Joey.
Pal Joey.
Isn't that a beautiful?
Fabulous.
Isn't that great? I asked him, Al, because I got to know him. Al, I said, what is it with, what is the magic number? He said, I don't know. I said, I make different views of it, and I draw it, you know. He said, I draw it as I'm watching the show. And if it comes out, if I draw it again, if I don't like it, I don't use it, I don't submit it. Or I submit it for, then the editor can decide which one he wants. So this one was 3. Number 3 was the one they chose to really publish, that's all. He says there's no magic about it. When he said people make this thing up, that makes them feel important that because I had 3 Ninas, or 6 Ninas, or 47 Ninas, he said it got nothing to do with that. It's just the number that was published. Now he was my big brother. I had an older brother than him.
Was he in the theater?
My oldest brother was Kermit.
Yeah, was he in the theater, or did he has anything to nothing?
No, he was a salesman. He sold floor covering.
Oh.
He was the one, oddly enough, who was expected to be the intellectual, the creative one, because he used to write poetry.
Did Arthur show any kind of talent early? No.
No.
Was it just after college?
Actually, he went to the University of Michigan because they had a good. He wanted to be a reporter. You see, he thought that would be nice to do. So he went. They had a good school for that kind of thing. And so he went there, and this friend Ralph Bell, whom I mentioned in the show, was a student there, and they met there. They shared a room,
roommates,
apartment or something. Yeah, roommates at college. And so Ralph said, you know, Arthur was always worried that he would not be able to afford, that the family couldn't afford to send him to college for next semester. So he was running, you know, trying to just get enough money to stay for next semester. I mean, one semester he washed all the dishes in the school cafeteria. So he could get enough money to stay on. But then, when he stayed on at the university a little bit more, this guy Ralph Bell, who was in the acting school, the drama school, because Arthur was in the journalism school, and he made friends with this actor, Ralph Bell. And Ralph said, you know, did you ever think of writing a play? And I said, no. Because he was worried always about coming back, about having enough money to come back. He said, well, you know, if you write a play and you win an award, you get $500 for it, for the such and such award that the university gives. He said, I could get $500 for it. I don't know anything about plays. So how long does a play last? And Ralph said, well, if it's 3 acts, it'll last 2.5 hours or something like that. Arthur said, so 2.5 hours. I'll try it. So he sat down, he wrote a play, and it won the Hopwood Award, Avery Hopwood Award. And he won like $1,500 for it. Well, that's enough to send him to school till he's 90 years old.
Wow. So
he liked it, you know. So that's when he became involved in the drama school. And there was a very fine, Kenneth Rowe, how I remember that. But Arthur used to write home about Professor Rowe, who was his professor in the drama department. And he idolized this man. He said, he's opened up the world to me. And he says, yeah, he was born in Manhattan. And my folks were very comfortable. And we lived in as a matter of fact, I don't remember that apartment because I was young when we moved to Brooklyn. But when my brother Kermit first came into this apartment, he was my oldest brother. he said, you know, you're not going to believe this, but this is just like the apartment we had at 45 West 110th Street, that's Central Park North. When I was a little girl, we moved, they couldn't afford to live in that apartment anymore, so we moved to a little house in Brooklyn. And it's, my mother found it very hard to make that adjustment, as you saw in this plate. The only play that the Actors Studio ever produced was a play called by Bussy Brewer, and it was about guys returning from the Second World War, you know, and how they would damage people who, Sundown Beach it was called. They had lots of parts so it was, practically everybody from the Actors Studio at that time, and this was early on in the Actors Studio, had a part in it. You know, the young guys were there, and they were all of an age when they could have been in this war and be recovering at this particular place, Sundown Beach. So that was kind of a documentary type show. But it was done on the stage. Right. Sundown Beach was the first, and as far as I know, the only production that was ever made, you know, from scratch. Mm-hmm. Betsy Brewer